Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is a beautiful day on the south side of GA, and it is officially the first and only 420. And of course, today is national holiday for the weed heads or anyone that feels like that is important. Now, today is officially 420. I've never in my life seen a 420 holiday such as like this, where you could smoke all you want to, but you definitely have to do it in the house. Normally in Atlanta we would have some type of festival where you get to smoke in front of the cops and they do nothing to you. But unfortunately, we have been quarantined in the house because of Corona. Fuck Corona. In other news, this weekend was pretty uneventful for me. And the reason why I say it was a little uneventful for me was because of the simple fact that I did a couple of different things this weekend. One definitely being that I actually watched Netflix. It was a show called Black as Fuck by Kenya. And for those who do not know who Mr. Kenya is one of the best mass producers of a lot of our favorite TV shows, i.e. Girlfriends, i.e. Black as Fuck, Grownish. Not Black as Fuck. He is the creator of Black as Fuck, but he's also the creator of Blackish, Mix-ish, Grown-ish, Girlfriends, and a couple of other different things that he definitely did right for. There was a little backlash about him. I want to say it was backlash about him back in December when he originally announced that he was doing a Netflix series called Black as Fuck. And the reason why it became a major thing was because of the simple fact that the casting that they announced for the actual show, a lot of them, there was one darker skinned young lady that played his daughter. Majority of the cast were white or mixed, or as we call them, we just call them mutts. But there was a lot of backlash about it because I am not going to say necessarily that I am on the black person's side. Me, if you see me, you would know that I'm black, of course. But what a lot of people don't see is the simple fact that we have pigmentation of white. So a lot of people from Black Twitter, they felt like Kenya was basically whitewashing his TV shows. Every TV show that he has initially created, there's always been one darker character. Now, just my personal opinion, a lot of people create things off of what they see. A lot of people create things from what they know, that they've seen in the back of their mind or what they've seen on a day-to-day basis. That's just being honest, right? There is basically, I went back and I did a little research myself. Mr. Kenya, and I don't know why I can't even remember his last name, but Mr. Kenya, basically, if you look at his family is actually the same as he depicted on Black as Fuck. You know what I'm saying? His majority of his family is mixed. You can tell that his wife is biracial in some type of way. Of course, Black Twitter did not fuck with it at all. And of course, Kenya had a couple of things to say. And it was just a lot of bullshit that motherfuckers is taking shit too fucking seriously. Like, a lot of things you really have to let go. Some things you want to let go, but you just necessarily can't, because that's just what the hell is going on, right? So he depicted the family on Black as Fuck, which is his new Netflix series, which is 8 episodes. I watched the complete series. I liked it personally. I laughed at a couple of shows. It made me think about a couple of different things. This is just my personal opinion. And of course, everybody's entitled to their own. And that's just kind of what it is. Now, of course, Black Twitter, they had major fucking issues with it, because how can you have a Black show that is called Black as Fuck and all the characters are mutts, basically? That is what Black Twitter had a major issue about. I'm talking about fights and the best memes to laugh at, of course. But my thing is with it, I'm not upset that he didn't include more darker skinned people. He only went off of the things that he know. And if you fully watch the show, and a lot of people like what's his name, Darius, which is a YouTube star that I love to watch, because he just says exactly what's on his mind. But a lot of people, if you fully watch the episodes, and he said that he got to episode 6 and he couldn't watch it anymore. I got to episode 8. I watched the thing in its entirety. And what I got from it was this specifically. If you, and Tyler Perry even said it in one of the episodes, he said, I'm only telling people stories from what I've seen. You know what I'm saying? From what I know. I watched my mother and I watched my grandmothers go through XYZ, and I'm telling their stories from sometimes their point of view or sometimes from the outside looking in. I'm only telling what I know. Of course, Darius, the YouTube star, he said something of this nature, that he doesn't really fuck with Tyler Perry, because Tyler Perry depicts and tears down the African American man. But what people fail to realize is nobody can tear down what has been put out there, right? If it's been put out there that a lot of dark-skinned men may abuse women, or a lot of dark-skinned men, they may not be in their children's life as much, because that's just what it is. It's not just dark-skinned niggas, it's light-skinned niggas too. Light-skinned niggas, they beat their women just as much as black guys do. Light-skinned men sit up here and cheat on their women just as much as black guys do. It's not a light-skinned versus dark-skinned situation. That's what people fail to realize. And today I thought I was going to come on here with a whole different topic, but it seems like this is going to be a forever issue. It's not even race that's an issue anymore. It's more of a situation of who's the better complexion. Let's be honest. We've all of us, black people included, I'm talking about the darkest of the darkest, have had some type of other colors in their family. For example, I'll take my son's dad for an example. My son's dad is very, very dark skinned, but his auntie is very, very white. His mother is a very caramel complexion. So you get what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't matter, because guess what? She's still around black people. She says she is black, which she is. She is somewhat black. But that's just kind of what it is. And even my daughter's dad had something to say about the type of men that I like. He's not necessarily seeing me with a darker skinned guy, such as himself. So he had something to say. He said, I only see you with light skinned guys. I only see you. He doesn't know that I love me a dark skinned man. But because I don't show it, that is what his biggest issue is. And that's fine. But I love dark skinned men. I've always had a thing for dark skinned men. Now, as far as the size, you ain't got to be fat. You ain't got to be skinny. You ain't got to be tall. You definitely can't be my height, and I'm only 5'3". But that's my only take on it. Like, I don't see a light-skinned man to be like, if a light-skinned man and a dark-skinned man, if they're twins that were standing in front of me, one was darker than the other, I would definitely always pick the darker one because that's just my attraction. Now, as far as Black Twitter go, I feel like this. Over the past couple of years that I have physically watched YouTube commentary on Black Twitter is nothing but a full-on complaint department. And let's keep it all the way 100. All right, you want to sit here and complain and do something about it. Like, I've always been taught that if you continue to complain about something, there are two options that you can do, right? You can, number one, continue to complain and see where that goes and where it gets you. Or you could do something about it. Everybody sit here and complain and talk about how all these famous writers, producers, they do nothing but depict the Black and African American view and makes us look like basically coons, and they have no real outlook on what we do. But you're sitting there complaining and you have not changed anything. You continue to watch the bullshit and you have not changed anything. That's all I'm saying. It's not a big deal for me, but I just feel like those are your only two options. You can either make a change and do something differently, or you can sit there and just continue to complain. A motherfucker that complain, the complaint department is earlier hours now, like Corona. It has closed at 5 o'clock, okay? So if you're not going to make no change, it's not no reason to sit up here and complain. You talk shit. But guess what? You can't sit here and budget out a $40,000, $50,000 movie or you know what I'm saying? Do something of that nature like Black Panther, have the lowest fucking budget, work the hardest, and make the most money. Like, if you cannot do those things, I don't feel like necessarily you really have an opinion. So, suck that, Black Twitter. What else? There are a couple of other different things that I would like to talk about as well. I actually have experienced a situation that I'm not really for sure that I would be able to handle. Initially, of course, I thought that I could, but turns out that it's not something for me to handle. So I'm going to just ask y'all, and maybe y'all will have an opinion about it. Or maybe you can give me your opinion about it. My daughter's dad has completely told me that he would like for me and him to be friends. Not a problem, nor an issue. The problem comes in is we do genuinely care and love each other. As of this moment, he is currently incarcerated. So it's not really much that he can physically do for me or to me. But the problem that I'm having is he wants to control everything. And there's no way fucking possible that you can control something. We're not in a relationship. Yeah, we love each other, we care about each other, but we're not together. So if I don't have time to call you back and I don't have time to have a conversation with you, it shouldn't be an issue. And I get that you are in jail and you have nothing and no one else to talk to, or so you say. But there are other things that I would like to do in my 24 hours of a day. I like to read books. I want time to read a book, sleep. I like to do that a lot if I can do it. Just have time to meditate to myself and deal with myself. Maybe talk to a couple of other people or whatever. He initially yesterday texted me and was like, I thought you was going to call me back, which I was, but, I just didn't. It wasn't on purpose, though. When I told him that I was going to call him back, The police was behind me, of course. I don't need no more fucking tickets. And didn't call him back for hours. Did go onto his Instagram and just looked and kept it moving because, of course, I had to finish looking at Black as Fuck. And he had an issue when he sat there and was like, oh, I guess you're okay. And I didn't respond to him until about 7, 8 o'clock. And, of course, he was not happy about that because he feel like that's him showing me that he cares because he's been waiting on a response from me, even though he's like, oh, I seen you looked at my Instagram story, but you cannot reply to my text message. So I'm just kind of like, is it really that serious? Like, you say that you love me, you say that you care, but guess what? You still talk to other people. You still have other situations going on. And then he brings up the fact that, well, you said you told me to talk to other people. Okay, so go do that. Go talk to other people. I don't have a problem or an issue with him conversating or colluding with other people. That is your business. But don't try to depict what I can and cannot do on my end. Am I wrong? Or am I just looking at it in a different way? Y'all let me know. Because it's been pondering in my brain, especially after I watched Black as Fuck and did a couple of little research on many different things. All right. Well, it's time for me to go and sign off as per usual. It's always going to be a beautiful day on the south side of GA. This is Joe. And shit, I got to go.